What is up, Slap fans? Charly Arnolt, Dan Hellie here with you on the penultimate episode of After Slap, breaking down everything from episode 7, which was definitely the most action-packed episode of the season.
I completely agree with you. In this episode of After Slap, about to be the same because we have two dads in the house. One, the dad of the Power Slap house himself, Vern Cathy. Also, the father of Power Slap, Dana White. So a lot going on. So everybody, all you gotta do, sit back, relax, because After Slap starts right now.
What's up, everybody? Dan Hellie, Charly Arnolt. I guess we could say the godfather and the father of the house, as Charly said.
Yes, the fathers are here.
In the intro. The founder of the Power Slap League, Dana White, is here. And you modeled this show, Road to the Title, a little bit after The Ultimate Fighter, of which there are 30 episodes, 31 in progress right now. So you're well-versed in this. Is there anything watching these first 7 episodes of this that surprised you?
Well, I like this format because obviously if you look at the success of The Ultimate Fighter and how many people have become world champions off that show, then we actually did a show too called The Ultimate Surfer. And the guy, that was on ABC. And the guy who won that ended up winning the World Cup of Surfing too. So, and just like this, as we go into the finale, for some reason, the best always rise to the top in this type of a competition format. I love it.
So you have a knack for finding the creme de la creme, if you will. And people are raving about Power Slap. I mean, we have seen all types of people commenting. It's been blowing up on social media. I mean, going viral is probably an understatement in a lot of cases. Did you expect Power Slap to catch on as quickly and as hard as it has?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of negativity too, but that's beautiful. I love it. I love the positivity. I love the negativity. It reminds me, it's like deja vu from the UFC when we started the UFC. It's hard for people to wrap their heads around that there was so much negativity about the UFC, but it was exactly like this. And my question was, when I started looking into this back in like 2018, it's like, if they can pull 350 million views on YouTube with this stuff, you know, it looked like it was in a basement or a bar, what would it look like if it was done the right way?
Legitimately.
The answer is over 1 billion. We have over 1 billion views in 5 weeks on social media. The Rumble has the rights to this thing internationally. That's over 10 million, you know, with the episodes. The webisodes have a whole nother, it's been incredible. And even the ratings, you listen to the media. You can't listen to the media about anything. They're all full of shit. But, you know, even the ratings that we're doing on TBS, you know, we went up head-to-head against the NBA on ESPN one night, and it was the game where Kyrie had just transferred over to Dallas. ESPN was promoting it like crazy. They did 570,000 views. We did 317 viewers that night. So they were number 1 with males on all of television. We were number 2. So the show has done really well. And yeah, I'm thrilled.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, and the season 1 of this is, it reminds me a lot of season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter too. You know, we had the right guys, the right characters, the right talent, and again, all the best rose to the top that lead into this finale.
Yeah, some of the episodes have had over 400,000 viewers, and one of the right guys is sitting right next to you, to your left, Vern Cathy. This was an interesting episode for you. Amir checks into the house. Your original fight is called off because your opponent had to leave the house. You were not happy about this whole situation. You could see it in the episode, right? What was going through your head when you found out you had a new opponent? Man. You didn't know what weight class you're fighting at. You didn't know what the hell was going on.
If they give out the audio of me talking when I first saw the guy come in the house, it's not very good. You know, I was pretty emotional on the fact that, like, we've been there so long, you know, and I didn't think he had a right to be there. But, you know, they had to do what they had to do. But when you're stuck in a house alone and you see someone randomly walk in, like, you know, towards the end, you're like, oh, this is bullshit.
Did you have a feeling that it was going to be one and done?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a doubt in my mind. It was going to be one and done.
Let's take a look at how this went down, because Dana, you dubbed this the greatest slap of all time. What were you thinking watching this?
Holy shit!
I mean, your reaction, we saw it on camera, was you were very impressed.
Yeah. And we didn't show the whole. I'm gonna release the whole footage of this soon. We just showed the slap here, and then I think it shows him getting up after. But there's a lot of in between and that slap that had everybody in the arena going crazy. But the great thing, I mean, going into this finale, the fight is Vern and AJ. I mean, that is the fight. That is the fight of the finale. I mean, I know the coaches, Darius and Wolverine are going to go, but those guys have been around for a while. They fought a few times. AJ and Vern have never faced off with each other, and they're the two baddest dudes in the house without a doubt, especially for the big boys. And then you got, I mean, the stars, the big superstars out of this thing are Vern, AJ, and Chris Thomas. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be getting more into those fights a little bit later on the show. But Vern, I mean, come on. Dana White himself has said you delivered the greatest slap of all time, in his opinion. How good does that make you feel?
It was great. I mean, I was just more nervous about having a clean fight. I knew I was going to knock him out, so I didn't want any clubs or an issue like that. And, I mean, when you watch the footage, I mean, I'm still not, my whole hand's not on his face. I try to keep my hand down so I just don't get a clubbing call. So
that's scary.
If you watch it, like,
thank God for a mirror.
Yeah, this part of my palm is still below his chin. So I was just purposely trying to make sure it's clean.
Okay, well, Dana, you just referenced Chris Thomas as being one of the big characters this season, one of the standouts, if you will. We know that he and Slap Jesus did not like each other at all, and Chris was very adamant about letting his hand do the talking rather than, them two going at it in the house, and he completely delivered. What was your reaction when you saw
everybody he touches, he knocks out?
Yeah.
I mean, this kid has unbelievable power, and good job. Yeah, I don't know who in that weight class can take a shot from Chris Thomas. I mean, this kid is legit. When you see him, he doesn't look like it either. He doesn't look like.
But we also did talk about earlier on. It was referenced that he used to be a lot heavier because people were like, he hits like a heavyweight, but he did actually used to be a heavyweight. So maybe it makes some sense.
He used to walk around at like 240. Chris Thomas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But yeah, he does not look like an athlete.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He looks like a guy you might mouth off to one night somewhere, and probably be a bad idea.
Yeah.
The kid's got crazy power, man. He's everybody he slaps, he hurts. So it's going to be interesting to see the finale, and I'm looking forward to, season 2, and I can't give out too many details yet.
I had 10 questions already teed up to ask you about season 2.
Now you're going to have your social media.
I want to tell you more than you want to know, believe me. So,
but at least we know there's going to be a season 2.
There's going to be a season 2 and a season 3. So we're looking at deals right now for season 2 and season 3, and a lot more live events. So very exciting. I'm pumped, and we, like I said, this format of competition works perfectly for the best to rise to the top, and we had a great cast for season 1.
Let me ask you, you had to go recruit guys for this first season.
Right.
I'm assuming that's going to be a little different from here on out. There have to be guys banging your door down to be a part of it.
There's over 1,000 people now trying to get into season 2 or, get in here and compete. Yeah, we've got like over 1,000 people who have reached out and emailed us. So we have a matchmaker now who's ripping through all these all these different submissions from these people and reaching out to them, and we're going to start casting here pretty soon.
Well, and just through one season, we're seeing rivalries develop already, like a Chris Thomas and a Slap Jesus. And before their fight in the house, they're going at it, Vernon. This is my favorite clip of the episode.
This is amazing.
Right? You're sitting there on a bunk bed, and you don't even move. You're going to be able to see here in about 2 seconds. There you are.
There he is in the background.
You're like, screw this, man. I'm not even getting up.
I like those two guys. I was like, you know what? Everyone else is going to come in. I'm cutting weight to make weight. So I'm just like, I'll let them deal with it. So, I mean, you'll see my hands just like this at one point. I'm like, why do you guys have to be like this? Yeah, just like, what's going on? I'm like, okay.
But you've got to love having intense rivalries like this in the house because it's what makes perfect television.
Well, when you put a bunch of testosterone-filled guys in the house that are going to compete against each other.
And some alcohol here and there,
Yeah, alcohol.
And that's why I didn't drink. You don't see me drinking on the show.
Yeah, no, that's smart.
But you do drink normally.
Yeah, but not in excess by no means.
Because
that would have made me excessive, so I didn't.
You think if you would have been put into this situation and had some alcohol in your system, you might have turned into a different different person?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah,
Expand more on that. What do you think we would have seen from you?
more like Chris, to be honest with you. I mean, you can only take so much, and the alcohol is always that little level to push you over the edge. So I didn't need that. So you got calm, Vern.
I think that it's probably we needed that, right? The dad has to be the calm, collected one in the house, right, Dan?
Yeah, man, Azael is he's one of a kind. Like there's nobody that drank more Howlerhead in the house than Azael. And I mean, it was really unbelievable because he's been stirring stuff up inside the house with everybody that would talk to him after one or two drinks. And this is what he does, though. Every time he gets up there in a slap competition, he absolutely dominates. And Reese was getting at him all week.
I was so happy to see Reese get knocked down. If there had been a camera on my face and you guys could have showed me, oh man, I was super excited.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Reese? If you could be frank with us here, because it's hard to really determine what kind of a person he is, because he showed one side when he was here on set, but on the show, he showed a completely different side.
I can't judge him totally because we're in a different environment, but he just seems like the guy that always wants to be on top and wants to be the best. And, sometimes you're not, and you got to be humble. And, if something happens to me, I'll be humble about it. But I don't ever see him being humble about anything, so.
And what about Azael? I mean, same thing can be said about him, because the thing about these guys.
No, he just doesn't need a drink. No,
at least as much as he does, right?
He's good. Just don't drink, bud.
But I guess the good news is, if you're going to talk shit, at least be able to back it up, right, with your skills.
I told him, we were driving to the Apex one day, and I told Ozzy, I was like, man, you got to win this whole fucking thing.
Yeah, right.
You're going to look like a damn fool.
So I'm thinking like the second episode when things are starting to get crazy. Now, we're on episode 7, right, of After Slap now, but Dana must have been getting called every night while these guys were in the house. What was that like for you?
Well, the difference was this time than in the Ultimate Fighter. For some reason, these guys were getting so crazy every night that we had to take them out of the house. We had one time we had times where the production crew was getting scared. These guys were getting, these production people don't want to be in the middle of this crazy shit. So one of the guys was threatening them one night, so we had to take guys out of the house when they got too crazy.
And there were
put them in a hotel.
Yeah, there were even some guys though that, because of the craziness around them, kind of asked out for a day or two, right? I think it was.
Well, I think, like he said, the alcohol makes everything escalate. And,
Robert Trujillo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have title fights coming up, guys. On March 11th. 4 title fights, 4 weight classes. I'm sure as we expand, there's going to be more weight classes. There's going to be a women's division added. But your fight against AJ, it's 1 versus 2 at light heavyweight. This is the one that Dana says is must-see TV. You've never been hit before. That's what's crazy. You've won every coin toss, and you just destroy everybody.
I've been very fortunate on that aspect. I mean, I did fight MMA, and obviously I grew up on a farm, so I've been hit plenty of times. But I haven't been slapped in a competition. I do have a guy that helps me out with that, but I'm obviously stopped at a month before a competition. I don't need any doctor issues. But
you say someone that helps you out with that. What is that?
Well, you got to get hit.
Almost like sparring.
It's like sparring.
Okay.
Literally, it's like when I say help me out. I mean, I've been hit like maybe 6 times in the past since I've got out of the house. I mean, nothing crazy or intense.
And what are your thoughts when you think about taking on AJ Hints? Is there anything that intimidates you? Because he has a really strong neck too. Maybe your slaps that have knocked out others maybe don't have quite the effect that they have on him. I'm
not intimidated. I mean, he does have a strong neck. I mean, I obviously can tell. I mean, look at the thing; it's like a bulldog. But I'm more worried about breaking my hand. I mean, I'll do it if I have to win, and I probably won't say anything until the end of it. But yeah, that's my fear, is to go 5 rounds and I break it on the 3rd one and just keep going.
What do you think about this one? You said how excited you were earlier. Why are you so excited to see these two go head to head?
Because these are the 2 most powerful guys in the house, without a doubt. And I think they're 2 of the best in the world. When we did a first test run in last March to try to, I had to dial in the production and get the commission on board. So if you saw a lot of people commenting on the March event. Mm-hmm. There's so many fouls and there's so many this, you guys aren't. And I said, you're absolutely right. We were all learning. This whole first season has been sort of a work in progress, the way that the UFC was early on until now this thing's a well-oiled machine with the production and from every department that we have in this company. And that's what we're starting to work on right now, with Slap. But once we figured out what was right, what was wrong, then you get these guys in there, they start competing, and you get to the end here, and you got to fight like AJ and
Vern, man. That's
it
evolved very quickly.
The best fight on the card, without a doubt. Even better than the main event, in my opinion.
Vern, this has got to make you feel good.
Oh yeah,
to hear all these things coming out of Dana White's mouth.
Nervous at the same time.
Absolutely, you have a little bit of pressure on your shoulders now, I'd assume. But also, let's address the welterweight division because that should be a good one too. Chris Thomas, you've already raved about, facing Jesus Gaspar, who, let's be honest, was a little bit of a sleeper
100%.
To start the season. I don't think many people expected much from him. So what are you expecting out of this fight on March 11th?
Yeah, I mean, this is, Jesus said it in the earlier fight, I think against Carice. He said, everybody looks over me. Everybody thinks that, they underestimate me every time I perform. So this could be one of those situations too. Right. But on the other side is Chris Thomas is, like I said, everybody he touches, he knocks out. So be interesting to see. I mean, if Jesus, and just for the record to everybody, you can bet on these. I mean, you can bet on these fights,
So that is happening 100%. I knew that was in the works. But
DraftKings, you can bet on it with DraftKings and
That's amazing.
all the casinos in Vegas, from the Wynn, Station Casinos, Caesars, MGM Mirage, all of them will have lines on these fights.
Wow.
That's going to be amazing.
I mean, and a lot of it is based, as we've learned, on the coin toss. I mean, that is so pivotal.
I want to say something about Jesus, though. He has not been knocked down, like one time. That guy's taken every hit, all 3 rounds. I mean,
there you go.
That's my thing. Chris has never gone against anyone that's taken every single hit.
That's a great point. Even when he flinched those 3 times,
and like
he
I
never
told you,
did
me and
get
him worked
knocked
with that, and look what happened the last one.
Jesus has a really great stance. You can tell, he really tenses up, and he purses his lips. You can tell he tightens his neck and his face, clenches his jaw. He's got a really good stance, so I could see why he would be good in the defensive position.
We were talking about the evolution, right, of the fouls and everything, and I think there's going to be an evolution in training. There's going to be an evolution in technique. I mean, for all these guys, we've talked about it since that March event until now. You have metrics for neck strength and power and velocity. We went through all this stuff. My whole goal, Vern, was just to be not the worst guy in the house. Luckily, thank God I accomplished that. But do you guys pay any attention to the metrics in terms of how strong somebody's neck is or how hard they hit?
I think a lot of the athletes do. I don't look at it. I performed in track and other sports, and you always perform better on the day. I mean, at least you should. So I just looked at it as, it's a good number. But, I mean, people rely on numbers too much. So.
You're a farm boy from Kansas, man. You don't worry about that shit.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens.
But you're absolutely right about the evolution. The same thing happened with the UFC. I mean, there were a handful of camps when we bought this thing, and that was it. And they all had to train together. There was no mixed martial arts training. They would do their boxing, they would do their jiu-jitsu, they would do their strength, and over the years, it's evolved to what it is now, and the same exact thing will happen with this.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see what type of camps open up, what gyms start to specialize in power slap.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you've handled, you mentioned earlier, some of the negativity surrounding this from MMA fans specifically, and you've said how quickly you forget that this was the same thing everybody was saying about the UFC 100%. When you first got into it. And it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. And these hypocritical media guys who, wanted nothing to do with this thing, with the UFC in the beginning. Now they're all UFC experts.
I can't imagine.
Hilarious.
I can't imagine what you get, because I get messages all the time, and I always have to, every single time, I'm like, did you watch UFC 283? They're like, yeah. I go, did you watch the knockouts? They're like, yeah. I'm like, every guy was unprotected and got slammed twice after he got on the ground.
Right. I'm
like, every knockout is an unprotected. They weren't 100%, everything.
Here's the craziest part of this thing. And you actually have doctors. I know most of these doctors are looking for attention and, whatever it is. But you have these doctors. Did I just break the chair?
No, it happens to everybody.
You have these doctors who are talking about how dangerous this is. In a boxing match, guys take 400 to 600 punches a fight.
Getting nailed all the time.
You guys take 3 or less. And you
I said, I've taken 6 slaps between now and then.
Exactly. And you don't do the sparring that they do to lead up to a fight like that. And as far as health and safety goes, there's nobody that is better with fighter health and safety than we are. 2001 to 2023, no deaths or serious injuries. Boxing, 2001 to 2023, 34 deaths. So it's not even comparable. It's all just noise right now. And people, but like I said, I embrace the hate too, because believe it or not, the haters help build this thing too. They're part of the 1 billion, views and everything else. And everybody came out so strongly against this that publications that would never cover this were covering it. So it's all good.
Well, there's an article every week about the ratings, 100%. Right, on TBS, which is amazing.
It's about how bad the ratings are.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you're used to the negativity surrounding stuff like this. And you also have to imagine our two coaches from this season used to a lot of the negativity, as they've been in the slap fighting world for years now.
Right.
Which is the reason why they're in the coaching position. And they will be main eventing the March 11th live event, which will be super exciting. Darius the Destroyer versus Wolverine. We know Darius has Wolverine's number 3 times up to this point. So what are we expecting? You expecting him to get it a 4th time, or do you think Wolverine's going to come powering back?
It's going to be interesting. These guys know what each other has. I don't know. I honestly don't know on this one. If I had watched them throughout the season the way I've watched these guys, I'd have a better idea of what I thought would happen, but I really don't know. We'll see. But those two are looked at as 2 of the best in the world, and we'll find out who's number 1 on the 11th.
It's gonna be
How much did they help you guys in the house in terms of training these guys with this type of slap experience? 'Cause I know you helped Jesus, so they must have helped all you guys in the house, right?
Yeah, no, they did a great job. But it's like everything, you can take what you're given. If you don't use it, you don't use it. Ron, I don't know much about Darius because I was on the other team, but Ron was very, very kind. I mean, he explained everything. He wasn't yelling.
Wolverine.
Sorry.
Yeah, everyone calls him Wolverine. Got to call him Wolverine.
Now I know him.
Yeah.
So Wolverine, he's great. He worked with me on my feet, making sure. And my biggest thing is, like I said, I just wanted to have a clean hit. So we were 100% going on that, and he helped everyone in every technique they needed.
Well, we know we can expect some pretty remarkable slaps in the live event, but looking back, Dana, what would you say has been the slap that has stood out to you the most during the season?
Vernon Amir. Vernon Amir. When I put the unedited slap, and it's by far the craziest
Incredible.
one of the year. And then we're going
to see more of that, right?
Yeah.
You already teased that. You're dropping the full.
I'm going to do it. And then what makes it even more interesting is AJ's slap with Rivero. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you look at those 2 slaps, and these 2 are actually going to face off against each other in the finale, it's by far the best fight on the card.
Steel versus steel, power
fireworks.
versus power, March 11th. I can't wait. Going to be on Rumble. What else can we expect to see go down on March 11th, just in terms of production, and what's it going to look like? So
the Thursday before the show, we're actually doing a full fight card. The Thursday before the show, to just do a practice run on the, not only the production, but for the athletic commission too, because this is all brand new for the athletic commission. So you got to give them some work. So we're going to do a whole fight card that Thursday, and then we'll go into this live finale and hopefully nail this thing live.
I've seen it because I've been doing the Contender Series since its inception, and I'm used to seeing your reaction octagon side. This is a little different. When you hear the sound, there just needs to be a Dana cam on you at all times.
It's like a gunshot.
It's crazy.
It's like a gunshot when these guys slap each other. It's so loud, and that's what makes this sport so fun and interesting. I always say this, what I do for a living is I sell holy shit moments. And there's a lot of holy shit moments on slap fighting, I can tell you that.
That was, I think, before this really got off the ground, and, it was kind of more of just, okay, what is this going to end up being? There was no doubt in my mind this was going to be something that could go viral, because it has just those quick moments, those quick seconds, really, that people just are able to watch and be like, oh my gosh, what did I just witness?
That's how I got into it. I mean, I started seeing it on Instagram, and I was like, oh my God. So I started, looking deeper and deeper. And when I started to look at the numbers, and I said, if you did this the right way, this thing could be huge. And it really does. It works on social media, and it's really good in bars too. I mean, when you're in bars, so what we did was all the bars here in town, PT's Pub is probably the biggest bar chain in town. I had people go out. We had people that we sent to Caesar's Palace, to, you know, all the places that were showing it, and just watched the reactions of people inside the casinos and inside the bars. And it was what I had expected. So, you know, we hope to turn this into a big bar business too over the next couple of years.
Well, certainly if Vern's fight with AJ Hinch lives up to what we think it will, that one's going to
Either way it is. If I lose or he win, you know, however it goes, it's going to be a good fight.
I agree.
That one is going to get a lot of views. Before we take a look at what is to come, got to thank Dana for coming out.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for being on
much.
the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for starting the Power Slap League. It's been fun, man.
It has been fun. I love it. I've had a blast doing this. I'm looking forward to 2 more seasons.
Absolutely. All right, we'll talk to you soon. And here's a look at what is to come.
Vern
is one of the hardest hitting guys. There is no doubt in my mind, Vern has a huge future in Power Slap.
Vern's no joke, but neither am I.
AJ's got a chin and knows how to take one. And if you give that kid a clean hit, he delivers big time.
Everybody needs to watch out for Static.
But shock to your system.
Vern is one of the toughest, most vicious strikers here.
And he's down.
I have the power, I got a great swing, so I'm excited.
It all comes down to Vern's chin. We're gonna find out how good it is.
I cannot wait for the finale.
So, Vernon, we are all jazzed about what you're able to accomplish as far as the slapping goes, but there's something else that really stood out about you this season, and that is that you were, and we've referenced it at the beginning of the show, Dan, you're the dad of the house.
I tried to be, I tried to keep peace, you know, and sometimes I didn't, you know, but it happens.
I mean, I can't imagine it would have been easy knowing all of the characters you had to deal with on a daily basis. I mean, it's not even like children you're looking after, too. These are grown men who are acting like children. So with that, Vern, we want to take a look back at your best parenting moments throughout the season.
Azael, he's drunk again. I mean, it's just constant. Like, he just gets belligerent and stupid.
Hey, just make it to Wednesday. Okay, then go lay down. Just go lay down.
Stop talking and go to bed. Do you understand me? Go to bed.
Vern is definitely the father figure of the house. Vern wasn't playing.
Did you guys see what's his name's bed? Yeah, come look at it. Those Ismails? Yeah. It's destroyed. Yeah. I'm gonna have to use that duct tape and all my knowledge to fix it. Yeah, 100%. I'm definitely the dad figure. I mean, I just try to make sure everyone's having a good time, everything's good, you know. And for him to just not take this serious, that's probably the thing that makes me more pissed off. Is like, this is an opportunity that if you don't understand it, you're ignorant.
Well,
Yeah, Cole and the producers, they should have told me about my hair every time I walked in there. You know what? I'm in the house and I'm
You were sleeping.
You got to take care of the kids. You don't have time to worry about yourself. From dad to dad, how'd he do?
I thought he did great. My favorite was the stern talking to Ozzy. Go to bed right now. Right now.
Putting him to timeout.
Yeah.
Was there anything we didn't see, though?
Yeah, actually, me and Azael got in a huge fight, and I ripped his T-shirt off. I still have the T-shirt. I was actually hoping they would show it on TV because there's a scene with no T-shirt on, and he's like walking out, and I was like, every episode, I'm like, oh, is they going to show it? I'm like, oh.
Is that why he had to wear the poncho?
So I have the T-shirt, everyone. I do have the T-shirt.
You have the T-shirt that you ripped off Azael's back.
Yeah.
You should, maybe one day that'll be worth something. You put that up on eBay. It's worth
do a charity or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Okay, so because you are really embracing the dad role, we're going to play a little game with you, Vernon. It's called Dadvice.
Dadvice.
So we want to get just quick answers from you based on what we prompt you with. So here we go. We don't want you to hold back either. Please be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Who in the house most likely to get grounded?
Most likely to get grounded?
Duh.
Slap Jesus. He does enough to just get in trouble. You know, he's not like totally bad, but he's like, you know,
pushes it a little too much.
He's the kid that just pushes the limit. He's a good kid, but just pushes the limit.
Yeah, just loves to stir the pot. All right, who has the messiest room? Biggest slob?
The messiest room? Man, I really stayed in my room a lot. I walked around. Man, I don't know if it was Ryan's room.
Ryan Phillips,
like those guys, but that's also where Oziel was.
Oh, yeah.
So it was
just a
kinda-
shit show.
Yeah, so about the room, I don't know.
More like a
don't know.
piss show.
Yeah.
Did he really pee his bed or not? 'Cause
Yeah, he
says
did.
no.
He peed his bed. 100% peed his
All right,
bed. I
that-
watched his.
check.
I watched his.
That was
bedding.
really sweet of you. Okay, we like to punish the bad kids, but we also like to give some credits to the good ones. Who is most likely to complete their chores, like get a gold star on their chart?
Oh man, Jules and John Davis.
John Davis seems like such a. And you know what? Did you know Jewel? You probably saw. He brought us gifts.
Oh, did
on
he?
the show. It was so nice.
Oh, he
did.
didn't
Such a
tell me
good
that.
guy.
He didn't
From
want me
New
to do
Orleans.
that.
Yeah, I know. He
Yeah.
wanted to one up you.
He was the only one. All right, most likely to get their mouth washed out with soap.
Chris Thomas. It's just
Sailor mouth?
Just sailor mouth. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He's just a lot of dropping of bombs.
Sure.
You know? Yeah, he's
Understandable.
Okay, what advice would you give to Azael? I mean, listen, the kid, he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
We know that at heart. He means well. He just gets a little out of control. What advice would you give him?
Oh man, just I used to have a problem drinking, so I'd say just try not drinking for a while and just go with that and see what happens. But honestly, when he's not drinking, 100% great guy. So I'd say just eliminate that.
Okay.
Well, what about to slap Jesus?
Slap Jesus, man. I don't know, man. That's just him. That's his vibe. I mean, he doesn't drink. I was proud of him. I can't imagine if he starts drinking again, but just tone it down. He's always at 11, even though it doesn't go to 11. He's there.
Right.
So just tone it down.
Okay, finally, this is putting you on the spot a bit, but if you have a great dad joke, we'd love to hear it. Or even something you tell your kids at home, your real kids.
Oh man, a great dad joke.
Or a great joke.
Man,
This is tough. You're putting you on the spot.
yeah, you're putting me on the spot because most of my jokes are wildly inappropriate.
No, we love inappropriate.
'Cause I'm a mechanic.
This is the place for inappropriateness.
Oh man, I can't think of it.
It's okay. It's all right.
All right, we'll let you kind of marinate in the dad joke. We need to get over to the after slap canvas. Have you seen this before?
Yeah.
All right, so we need to get your handprint and
Take
your
my-
autograph.
Take my jacket off here.
Yeah, you don't want to get that jacket too dirty here. No. Oh wow, we got a big towel today. We got like
cow.
a health
Big daddy.
club towel.
The big
yeah.
daddy towel for the dad.
All right. All right. So let's go. You're gonna sign. You're right-handed.
Yep.
So we'll sign with your right. Take the watch off. Don't let anybody steal that. That's a good watch there.
Yeah,
that's all
nice.
So you can either sign first and go right hand, since that's your slapping hand. There you
yeah.
go. Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna go right in the middle. I like that. I like that. All right. So you have. Let's see. It's Wednesday. So March 11th. What day is March 11th? That's a Saturday.
Saturday,
So
yeah.
we're a week and a half away.
Yeah, we're getting
yeah.
there.
How much have you been thinking about how close we are to this March 11th date and your big title fight?
Too much because I need to cut some weight, so I'm just thinking a lot actually.
We were over hearing the producers talking, and
we go.
they were saying that you actually weight
Just use the
cut
whole towel.
like an MMA fighter.
Yeah, 100%.
So what does it look like for you? Like, what is the next week going to look like for you? And where do you hope to be once you, here, we're gonna have you turn
Yeah.
around. What do you hope your final days look like, just so things aren't too crazy?
I'm gonna try to make sure on Monday I weigh like 212 or so, maybe 210, and then just after that, Richie and the Apex will help me out, and we'll get everything I need to cut weight, and it's all good. Yeah, I'm gonna try to come in a little bit closer to it than normal. I mean, I normally walk around at like 225, 230.
Okay.
So.
All right, you sound like you got it all under control.
I do get messages all the time. I think because I posted a video of me weighing 231 pounds, and they wanted to make sure I was going to make it. But yeah.
Well, listen, Dana White has been very explicit in the fact that he believes you and AJ's fight is going to be the best on the card.
Yeah.
High expectations for you.
I got a lot of weight on my shoulders, so yeah, I'm gonna make sure it's a good fight no matter what. He wins or I win, it's gonna be the best one.
It's going to be good.
It's gonna be
Expectations high. This man plans to deliver, and we plan to deliver one more episode of After Slap. That's coming your way next Wednesday, March 8th, immediately following the final episode of the season of Power Slap Road to the Title. Everyone, thank you so much for being here with us, and we will see you next week.